Hi, it's Saturday, September 5th. It's extremely hot and humid out here today. And I'm on my way to The Connection, which is a place where I worked for 20 years. I was an aerobics instructor since the time my girls were babies. I used to take Robbie here, and they have a nursery there, and Robbie used to stay in the nursery while I taught. So it was a very convenient job to have as a mom, because I could get my workout in and I could take a shower and everything while someone was watching my kids in the nursery, and I didn't have to pay for a gym membership. I was paid to be there instead. So I also started painting murals, and I painted, gosh, we've changed it 3 different times. I had Disney stuff up there for a while, and then I changed over to the last one that I did was a Cinderella mural. I kind of hung a bunch of stuff all over my mural, and I'm sure you can guess where I got my inspiration from. Obviously, it was from Robbie constantly watching Disney videos. But the Cinderella one I just did just more as an original mural to look more like a storybook, not Disney. Anyway, I have a cute story. When Robbie was little, he was about 2. I picked him up in the nursery at the end of the day, and we went to leave to go home. And the pool is right down the hall from the nursery, and they used to leave the door open to the pool. So I came out of the nursery, turned right, headed toward the door to go out, turned around and looked behind me, and Robbie wasn't there. Where did he go? Guess what? Robbie knew the pool was to the left, and it was winter time. He had his down jacket on, and he turned left, headed straight for the pool, and jumped in the deep end, coat, shoes, and all. And it was a bunch of little old ladies swimming in there on their little flotation devices. And I think he gave them all a little mini heart attack. They were and the lifeguard jumped in, grabbed him by the coat, lifted him up, soaking wet. He probably weighed 200 pounds soaking wet, and all that down-filled jacket filled up with water, and lifted him up and pulled him out. So by the time I realized where he was and turned around and ran in there, he was already standing outside the pool, soaking wet. We had to go through the lost and found to try to find something for him to wear home, and I brought him home. Another time, I picked him up and brought him with me into the office because I had to sign in and out, and there was a red light glowing on a computer, and he touched it. Come to find out a couple weeks later that Robbie had shut down the entire computer system for the whole place, and he couldn't and they couldn't take in any memberships or any information until it was fixed. Oops. Another time when we went to a swimming program at a different Y, we went upstairs into the gym. It was like a gym and swim. First you swim, then you go upstairs to the gym, and he's not really interested in balls and you know, things that you do in gym class, and he would hide in the corner all the time, the entire time. And I would try to engage him and bring him out to play with the parachute and all that kind of stuff. And I guess he saw another button or something and pushed it. Well, Robbie set off the fire alarm, and we had to evacuate the entire Y, and the firemen showed up, and that was all due to my son. So needless to say that policies have been changed now because of my son. You know, computers with red buttons are stored way up high out of reach of children. The pool keeps their door shut now so that nobody can get in coming from the nursery. As far as fire alarms go, Robbie and I, we just didn't go to that class anymore after that. So I'm on my way. Robbie is beginning a adaptive aquatics class, which is swimming for special needs kids and adults. Robbie's aide is bringing him there from the group home. When Robbie was in his old home, I signed him up, and it was a different staff member on every week. It was never consistent, and they seemed to always get lost and never knew where to go, and they would show up late if they showed up at all, which was very annoying to me because I pay a lot of money for him to go to this class and they just don't show up. So that's why you see me do a lot of stuff myself, because I will pick him up and bring him. So this time I've made several phone calls, been talking to them back and forth. The home that he's in now, you know, they know where this place is, they know how to get here. So hopefully there won't be any issues. Hopefully Robbie will show up, and he'll be here for his swimming class. So since it's the first day, I'm just showing up just to check up and make sure he made it here and make sure they've got the routine down and they know where to go and what to do. One of the other things that I love about this place is they offer a lot of programs and things for kids and adults with special needs. They get it. And they also have, which was wonderful when I took over and just brought Robbie to swimming myself, they have a family dressing room. Yay! You've seen in my Christmas Eve episode that I have a problem with if Robbie has to go to the bathroom in a public place, I have to bring him into the ladies' room with me. Here, I don't have to bring Robbie into the ladies' locker room. The other Y that we used to go to for the gym and swim, I had to bring him into the ladies' locker room with me. And after a while, I stopped because he's just too big and it just seems it's inappropriate. And there's women in there getting undressed and it's just uncomfortable. So here they have family dressing rooms. Yay! So mom can bring her son in, her adult son, and change him. It's also handicapped accessible. 2 years ago, Robbie broke his foot, which is why we go to the physiatrist. That's another episode that we did. Robbie's feet turn in, and when he was walking one day, his foot rolled over and he broke the bones on the outside of his foot. He had to have a cast on. Well, that didn't work, but we did like an air cast. Robbie doesn't know how to use crutches, so Robbie had to be in a wheelchair to keep him off of his foot. So he didn't, luckily he didn't have the cast on. It was an air cast that we could take off, but I had to keep him off his feet as much as possible. So we came here to the Connection for swimming, and they have a really cool chair lift. That you can get in when you're in a wheelchair. So we just transferred Robbie from the wheelchair to the lift, which spun around, dropped him into the pool, and then when it was time to get out of the pool, brings him back up and out, back in the wheelchair, into the family dressing room, where he could sit in the handicapped shower to get a shower and sit on a seat. Then I could change him in the family dressing room. And it was awesome. And I even got to have a temporary handicap sticker for my car. And let me tell you something. That 6 weeks in a wheelchair was a real eye-opener, because that happened around Christmas time, and I tried to take Robbie shopping like I always do, and I tried to take him into Modell's and all these places in a wheelchair, and those aisles are way too packed full of racks of clothes, and it was really, really difficult to maneuver around with somebody in a wheelchair. And it's very difficult to find handicap parking spots. They're always full, and I don't see people getting out in wheelchairs. You know, they probably have heart conditions or whatever. I don't know. You know, I'm not making any judgments about that. All I'm saying is they were always full, and there were many times where I couldn't get a handicap spot. So, you know, like I said, it was very eye-opening, and having to pick up that wheelchair, cart it all over the place. It was heavy. Robbie loved it. He loved being in a wheelchair and being pushed around. You know, that's like as fun as being in a car. So I'll tell you something, ever since then, when I do take him out, I like to take him for long walks, but I think his feet start to hurt him after a while and he starts to sit down. I wish that there was an invention such as a jogging stroller for adults. That would be really cool with the big wheels, but wheelchairs are a pain. They have tiny little wheels in the front, and if you're on a pavement that's kind of bumpy, it's not smooth. It's not fun trying to push a wheelchair on a rough surface. But if I had like big wheels, like a jogging stroller, that would be awesome, and Robbie would love it. I'm gonna have to look it up on the internet and see if there is such a thing. Probably cost a fortune if there is. I don't know. I've never seen one before. So anyway, I'm here, and let's go in and see if Robbie made it, and let's see if he's here swimming. The nursery where Robbie used to stay when I used to teach aerobics, and I'm going to show you the route out the door to the pool. That's where I went. This is where See? Smart. And the door is now permanently locked because of Robbie. And this is another trick that I learned from having a child with autism. Look behind me. Do you see the outlet? I always painted murals in my kids' rooms, especially Robbie's. He always had cute Disney murals. But to avoid him sticking his fingers in the socket, I would do this. Here's the outlet. See it now? Camouflage. So that went well. Robbie knows exactly where he is when he comes here. For those of you that are surprised to see how well Robbie swims, usually everybody always is. They're shocked to see how well he swims. He's been coming here since he was a baby, and his school came here for 6-week periods of time where the kids had swimming lessons because they understood how important it was for these kids to learn how to swim. So Robbie learned how to swim here. So he knows exactly where he is and exactly where he's going when he gets here. The young woman that was working with him is on staff here. She's one of the lifeguards, and she stayed with Robbie and worked with him one-on-one, and she was so good with him, and he took to her immediately. He kept looking at her, you know, making eye contact with her when she was talking, and she told me she has a 15-year-old brother who has autism, and there you go. She gets him. And she also apparently does a special needs swimming class through DDD in another town somewhere. So she's very involved with people with autism and special needs like Robbie. So Robbie loved it, and he had a good time today.